Red, yellow, leather. Today we're gonna talk, nope, no we're not. Red, leather, yellow leather, leather. Hey guys, it's Rachel P, and today we're gonna do a brief overview on different types of knives. Some of these could definitely have a video all their own, but we're just gonna do a quick primer on which knives are essential, which knives you might want personally, and how you should be using them. The first knife we have is a chef's knife, which is also sometimes called a French knife, and that's somewhere between 6 and 10 inches. Most hover at 8. This is 8 inches. And this is your kitchen workhorse. You can do most of what you need in the kitchen with this knife. If you're slicing vegetables, if you're even cutting meat, and if you were looking to upgrade one knife in your kitchen, upgrading your chef's knife is gonna do the most for you. Next, we're gonna be talking about bread knives. So this one is from my collection, and it's an offset bread knife. You can see by the slope right here, and that's supposed to make it a little bit easier for slicing. Some people like it, like me. There's also straight bread knives, like my mom's. And these are long knives with a serrated edge, which is good for tearing through bread, particularly bread that has a crust, but a really delicate inside. So think of like a baguette. You don't want to crush it while you're slicing through it. They're also really great for cutting through watermelons and tomatoes. So something with tough skin, but delicate insides, the bread knife is going to be really helpful for that. And the last kind of essential knife is your paring knife, which is that little one. This is gonna be for your detail work. Cutting the tops off of strawberries, cutting grapes in half, just little cuts where you're not gonna be sawing something, but you just need like a small blade to get in somewhere where it might be difficult to be holding such a large knife. If you have that chef's knife, bread knife, and paring knife, you're going to pretty much be able to do anything you need to do in the kitchen. Now, anything you have past that is something you need to customize to your own kitchen needs. So for example, if you cut a lot of meat, you're gonna want a flex boning knife, which has a long, thin blade with a little bit of flex to it. And this is really good for getting around bones if you ever wanted to try to cut all of the individual pieces off of a chicken, cutting fillets of fish. So that's a flex boning knife. Let's say you cut a lot of tomatoes and you would actually prefer to have a shorter knife than to pull out your bread knife each time. A serrated utility knife would really be helpful. These are also sometimes sold under the name tomato knife. It's just a little bit shorter and therefore easier to handle for smaller things. And on a side note, a utility knife is a catch-all term for anything that's bigger than a paring knife, but smaller than a chef's knife. Now, I pulled out a cleaver because I think a lot of people think you need to have one or should have one in your kitchen, and they are helpful for cutting through bones and really big, tough things, but you don't need them in most kitchens, and more importantly, you don't need an expensive one. These are meant to take a beating, and they don't tend to last forever. Go to a restaurant supply store, go to Target, go to Walmart. Don't spend hundreds of dollars on a cleaver. I also included a spreader because a lot of people have one at home. It has a wide edge for spreading on sandwiches, and they sometimes have a little serrated edge in case you don't want to get another knife out to cut your sandwich in half. And it's serrated, again, because you're usually cutting through bread. And then the last one I pulled out, just an example, is going to be one of your fun novelty knives. This is a cheese knife. Not at all necessary. You can do a lot of cheese cutting with regular knives, or if it's a soft cheese, unscented and unflavored floss can be used to just pull right through a nice creamy brie. But they are cute, so if you like them and they make you happy, feel free to add them to your knife collection. I've also included a honing steel, which should be kind of the unofficial fourth essential in your knife kit because it's going to keep your knife sharp. Quickly before we go, I'm going to show you how to hone your knife. You'll see a lot of people on chef shows doing, like in the air. But I think the easiest and most stable way to do it at home is to run your knife over it while you hold it down like this. And you wanna just do it a couple of times on each side. If you're using a German knife, it's gonna be at about 20 degrees. If it's a Japanese knife, you're gonna do it closer to 10. A lot of honing steels will have this little guide. So the thinner side is gonna be for a Japanese knife. You would just line it up like that. And for German, you would line it up like that. Do it every time. I know there's a million types of knives out there and a million questions to go with each of them, so if you have any, please leave them in the comments below. For more tips and recipes, check out my website, JoyFullFoods.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and click right now to subscribe for more videos. Bye. Nope. Okay. Are we recording?